back. Good morning. You're watching Times Now Live and I'm Swati Joshi. Now, Omar Abdullah is all set to take oath as the first Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir since it became a union territory following his National Conference Party's victory in the region's first assembly election since abrogation of Article 370. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha will administer the oath of office in secrecy to Abdullah and his ministers. The NC has invited INDI leaders to attend today's ceremony. The invitation for the swearing-in ceremony was also sent to West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, NCP President Sharad Pawar, Samajwadi Party's Akhilesh Yadav, RJD's Lalu Prasad Yadav and DMK's MK Stalin. Other key invitees include Uddhav Thackeray from Sena UBT, Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren, Mehbooba Mufti of PDP, Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann and AP's Arvind Kejriwal. So it's also going to be a show of strength by the INDI leaders. We have Yavar joining us on the broadcast with more details, and we are also joined by Tushar Gupta, political analyst, and Sabah Naqvi, senior journalist. Let me first go across to Yavar, who will take us through what's happening on ground at the moment in terms of the preparation. And of course, also Yavar, like we've been discussing, it's a massive show of strength as well.
Well, exactly, all the preparations have been made in place, and in fact shortly from now Omar Abdullah along with the 5 Council of Ministers including 1 independent MLA, they are going to sworn in for the first time ministerial in the Union Territory. I'm just outside the SKICC venue in the Srinagar, where you can see the adequate security cover have been put in place to ensure the smooth going and conduct of the swearing-in ceremony. Just shortly from now, Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, they have arrived at this venue, and also the Lieutenant Governor of the Union Territory Manoj Sinha has also already arrived at this venue to administer oath to the Omar Abdullah and his Council of Ministers. Now remember, all the ministerial berth will not be filled today as indicated by the Omar Abdullah. Only 5 Council of Ministers will take oath today, and the rest 4 will be kept vacant because there is a consideration deliberation which is going on over the seat sharing formula with the Congress as indicated by the Omar Abdullah as well. Since there's a rift in the Congress, sources say that the Congress was unhappy of giving the one only ministerial berth to them, as they were demanding for the 2 ministries including the Chief Minister post. In fact, sources also indicated that there is unlikely that Congress will also get the speaker post in the assembly. So somewhere there are a lot of the deliberations that have come in place. And one more thing about this India Alliance meeting, this is not just they are conducting they are attending the swearing ceremony of the Omar Abdullah here. From this stage, the India bloc, they are going to send a message to those regions, to those states who are going for the post, that the Jharkhand and the Maharashtra. So this will be a politically a well significant thing that has been put in place, because already there has been clarified by the Akhilesh Yadav as well, because yesterday he said that this is a win of the democracy. The Jammu and Kashmir people have shown the faith on the democracy one more time, as shown in the voting percentage. So somewhere we are witnessing that these developments are taking place. In fact, shortly from now, Mehbooba Mufti has also gone inside to take part in the oath ceremony of Omar Abdullah, and many of the leaders from the opposition were seen going inside. So this will be a significant development when it comes to the Union Territory poll, because as I said earlier, that there's a long gap of the pause that we're witnessing in the Union Territory.
Right. Visuals there coming in of the oath-taking ceremony. Remember, as far as the Congress party is concerned, Congress has now been given the opportunity to decide by Omar Abdullah, like he said in his latest statement, that it's up to Congress to decide. Let's cut back to those live visuals.
I, Omar Abdullah, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and that I will do right to all manner of people in accordance to the Constitution and the law, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. I, Omar Abdullah, do swear in the name of God that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person or persons any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Minister.
Has taken oath as the Chief Minister of Jammu Kashmir, and he is in fact the first Chief Minister of the Union Territory after the abrogation of Article 370 in 2019. Omar Abdullah in fact also spoke about these distinctions. He said the last distinction was of him being the Chief Minister of the Valley for 6 years, Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir for 6 years, and this is another distinction where he's become the first Chief Minister of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, this after the abrogation of Article 370. So Omar Abdullah has taken oath as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Tushar Gupta and Sabah Naqvi continue to be with us. Let's quickly go across to them. Sabah Naqvi, Omar Abdullah has taken oath as the Chief Minister, and like he also spoke about two distinctions. The distinction is that he has become the first Jammu Kashmir Chief Minister of the Union Territory, of course, after abrogation of Article 370.
Historic moment, and I was there when Umar first became CM for the first time. Now I'm talking to you. But so much has changed, and this is a historic moment, and we all wish him all the very best. He has many, many things to navigate, and including the fact that Jammu is not represented adequately in this government, and I'm sure he will, all the signs are that Umar is going to be a reconciliator. He is going to try and get along with the LG, and the powers of New Delhi are intense, and they've always been so. Right now, they're even greater than they used to be. But law and order, we are hearing that the law and order has gone away from Union Territory. But frankly, law and order in Jammu and Kashmir was always with the governor and with the armed forces, and it was always a state which was run, Kashmir Valley. I'm talking about Kashmir Valley in particular, that yes, the state had some control over it, but there was always, it was an area where there was not absolute control, because it's one of the most militarized places in the world right now we're talking about. And we've had an election. So good for us, good for Indian democracy that we've had an election.
Right.
There is some kind of representation now to the people of the state or Union Territory.
Union Territory. Yes.
Becoming a union territory.
You know, statehood, of course, is what Omar Abdullah also spoke about, that now the priority is that statehood returns. Let me go across to Tushar Gupta. Of the many things that Omar Abdullah will have to navigate, is the first thing going to be, you know, navigating through this alliance, reports of Congress giving outside support, and then Omar Abdullah saying that the decision is with the Congress party to make. They are not out of the cabinet.
Look, we have to be a little realistic here. The Congress has to be a little realistic in the sense they have 6 seats across Jammu and Kashmir. Their performance, for the lack of a better word, has been dismal in the Union Territory. In the state of Haryana also, they've performed poorly. They've lost the election they should have won. So Omar Abdullah, like all the alliance partners in the India alliance, would be factoring that in. So at the end of the day, if in the Union Territory government, he wants to give one cabinet berth rather, to the Congress, it's the Congress's option to either take it or leave it. It's that simple. But what would be interesting, Swati, as we speak right now, as the swearing-in is going right now, there's another sort of bickering that is happening in Maharashtra between the alliance partners of the entire India alliance as to which party will have how many seats. Now, if the Congress decides to sit out, what will be its bargaining power in Maharashtra? That remains to be seen. Now, coming to Omar Abdullah, look, it's an historic day. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has moved on from 2019. 370 is history, 35A is history. Now, Omar Abdullah can become the first post-370 Chief Minister of the Union Territory to take a very different approach from his predecessors. He has to focus on development, progress. There's ample of potential in this Union Territory. There's a lot of economic potential that remains to be tapped even after the 5 years of revocation of Article 370. So what will Omar Abdullah do? I hope he learns from his political cousin in Delhi, from Arvind Kejriwal, and doesn't go for a confrontational tone.
Okay.
Instead, he should be looking to work with the Lieutenant Governor, with the centre, and for the benefit of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Because these people, starting with Kashmir, have given him that mandate.
Okay.
They've trusted him to
What
work
you're
with
also
the
pointing
governor
out is
and the
that
centre.
the elections in Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir actually have taken away the bargaining powers of Congress, if one were to put it that way. Okay, Sabah Naqvi, NC won 42, Congress won 6. Congress was it expecting more from the National Conference, and was it justified, or should Congress actually accept the reality?
Of course, it was a disastrous outing for the Congress in Jammu. I mean, it was a complete disaster. On par with Haryana, actually, in some ways, even though the optics of Haryana, for the Congress particularly, they lost both these areas because Umar kept up his side of the understanding. Look, in the valley, I'll say one thing. So the Congress was entirely riding on the fact that people were choosing to vote for the National Conference as the most rooted party in the state, and there had been disaffection with the PDP. PDP is on a bad phase, but there is never anybody who dies out in Indian politics. So there were because the National Conference has very, very old roots, including some very systematic land reforms done by his grandfather, which gives Kashmiris small plots all over. So there are historic roots that the National Conference has. So they were choosing the National Conference. In the valley, Rahul Gandhi has a good image. It was a plus factor, not the decisive factor, but it was a plus factor in the National Conference doing so well, in spite of many independents and all being in the fray. So, yes, and then the Congress does so disastrously, and hats off to the BJP. Forget about the Congress, that they were able to recover from the same sort of problems that the Congress appeared to be having, factionalism, unhappiness, problems in the state unit. They got their act together. And so, actually, I'll tell you one thing. The Congress had a forewarning, Swati, that they were doing badly in Jammu, but they were dead sure that they were sweeping Haryana.
Is the writing clear on the wall for the Congress, Tushar Gupta? I want to ask you that, because in Mahayuti as well, people have expectations, parties have expectations when it comes to seat allocation, seat distribution. We'll talk about that, but after a short break. Tushar Gupta and Sabah Naqvi, request you to stay on with us.